Hi, welcome back. Today we're going to go over the incredible story of a man who was literally cut in half and managed to survive. While he was half of body, he was whole in spirit. Luck, quick thinking, and a strong will saved a man severed at the waist by a rail car, along with a little help from his guardian angel. 911, state your emergency. I'm at Gunderson Southwest. I got ran over by a rail car. I think I'm cut in two. I need help now. Someone got run over by a car? Yes, ma'am. I'm about to pass out. You got run over? Yes, you've got to hurry. Stay on the line with me, please. I think I'm about to pass out. I guess I'm going into shock. Hurry up. Tell me your name, sir. Truman Duncan. Tim? Okay, hurry up, ma'am. I'm about to pass out. Can you stay on the line for me, please? I can't stay awake much longer. Stay with me. Stay on the line. Line goes dead. A second chance. Truman Duncan was a railroad operator. His job was to repair railroad cars. One day in June of 2006, Truman was working on a railroad car that needed to be repaired. As he was riding on the car and it was backing up towards the station, towards another rail car, Truman slipped. He fell off. He started running backwards at 20 miles an hour, trying to keep up with the railroad car. Unfortunately, he couldn't keep up. His feet slipped underneath the wheels, and the car sucked him under. He said it felt like a monster was attacking him, grinding over the bottom half of his body. Truman was severed just above his right knee, his leg only held on by a single muscle. The left side of his body was bisected through his pelvis all the way up, running through the side of his kidney. The rest of him was literally cut off. As he lay there on the phone with 911, he hung up with the operator, and then he managed to call his family. He said, "Honey, I've been cut in half." He managed to stay on the phone for a few minutes. The entire time he wanted to pass out. He wanted to go to sleep, but he kept thinking about his children. He kept thinking about his wife. He kept thinking about his family, and he kept telling himself, I've got to stay awake. I've got to stay awake. After 45 minutes, the rescue team got there. They were shocked to find a man who'd been severed in half, still alive, pinned underneath the railroad cars. They immediately began to deploy airbags to lift the heavy car to try to get him out. Paramedics thought there was no way he could possibly survive. He'd lost over half of the blood in his body. But when they got there, not only was he still alive, he was still conscious. He was talking to them. An air flight was rushed to the scene. He was helicoptered to the nearest trauma hospital. The doctors began to assess him, and they were astonished that he'd somehow managed to live. The trauma doctor, who'd spent some time in the Amazon jungle, said it's amazing what the human body can do when faced with incredible amounts of pain. It just sort of tunes the pain out to help you survive. And that's exactly what he did. 23 surgeries later, Truman was kept in a coma for 30 days on purpose to allow his body to be repaired. But after just about a year, Truman came back to work. Throughout his ordeal in the hospital, Truman remained upbeat, and he continued to be so. Eventually, he returned to work at his company, repairing and refurbishing rail cars. 2 years after the accident, he was driving himself around in a car equipped with hand controls. and leading a productive life, including many of the things he'd done in the past, like tossing a football with his kids. Doctors decided that it must have been the immense pressure from the car that kept the blood from leaking out of his arteries and pumping out of his body, bringing him to death. But Truman, he had a more spiritual answer. He said, I had the will to live. I believed in God. And I just kept saying to myself, I've got to be there for my family. It's my suspicion Truman's guardian angel put in some overtime that day. Tell me what you think in the comments below. Like, click that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a thing, and stay tuned for more inspiring stories, like the story of the man that was cut in half and lived.